So we're getting out to Boogeyman today, which is actually the last climb on the workout wall area in the Nears that I need to send. It's a high of 38 today, so we got the full triple double rack. We got a rack of pads, we got a heater, we got all our gear. So I guess we're going climbing. How about you help now? Enough with that filming.
In the beginning of the year, I set a goal for myself to send 5.12s, and I kind of forgot about that goal and didn't really specifically work towards it. But a few weeks ago, I realized I've sent 4 5.12s this season, so I'm really hoping to achieve my goal. I'm right there. I won Hung Boogeyman last time we were here, and it was my first session on it, so I'm feeling pretty good about it, like it could go. Hopefully it's not too cold, so fingers crossed for a good day.
In order to set up Boogeyman, I have to climb a 4-star 510, which I've climbed about 20 times, and every 5 times it just drops a star. So I'm at 0-star 510. Got Boogeyman all set up, and the upper crux, which normally feels really easy, felt almost impossible today. I think it might be a little too cold and a little too dry. You basically have a thumb press, and from that thumb press you flip from an undercling to a palm press on an arete. And I felt like I was using so much more tension than usual, and I think it's because I didn't have friction to actually, holding me in. So I was trying to create friction by just trying harder, and it felt much harder today than it has on the previous day that we were on it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Innovation. Cold weather climbing gear.
Yeah, stand up strong, you got it. Dunk it. Oh.
First burn on Boogeyman went okay. I couldn't make the pop move to the slot, but and I struggled on the roof a bit. But after that, I was able to just go through the whole rest of the climb. I did the whole upper crux. I'm thinking Eric's issues were just with his shoes, but it did feel hard today. But I don't know if that's just because I just hopped right on it. So we'll see. Feeling the pressure on a little bit. Hopefully next time have a little better luck. The route really starts once you get this heel-toe cam in this good horizontal. You stand up on it using a side pull crimp, and then the left hand is actually a thumb press, and it's pretty far away, but it allows me just to be able to adjust my feet enough where I can lunge down and then pop up to the slot under the roof, and that's a really good hold, able to rest there before moving out over the roof. You pop up to this kind of slopey rail, and then from there you're able to jump your feet up onto this really smeary foot in order to get up over the roof. And then from there you work your way up this rail and then cross the hand over to an upside down pinch, and it's a hard stand up from there to the crimp. Once you stick that crimp, you're pretty golden for a little bit. It's pretty easy face climbing on crimps to the next rest. This day was so cold, I had hand warmers in my chalk bag. I didn't want to rest too long, so I kind of just kept it moving. And then we get into the upper crux of the route. You get into this high foot and you have to press. For me, this is a pretty far move. I just get my hand on that right hold, and then am able to get yet another thumb press once I stand up, and that allows me to then palm press on the opposite side of this kind of small corner, and then stand my way up to the good holds here. At this point, it's just a matter of making it through these last few moves with freezing cold hands. I was so cold at this point. It took me 10 minutes to just warm up my hands, and then they started burning, but it was super awesome to be able to send this route.
You accomplished your goal for the season. So Sabrina just sent Boogey Man. It's a little too cold today for me to go for the lead. I found new beta in the upper crux that I wasn't dry firing off, and felt confident to go for it. And then when I top roped it today, my hands were just too cold at the upper stuff. I was able to do it on top rope, but basically for the upper 2/3 of the climb, I couldn't feel my hands, and I just didn't want to lead it, with my hands feeling like that.
We keep thinking we've had our last day of the season, but it is December 29th, and it's mid-40s out right now.
It's like high 40s, it's almost 50.
Almost 50. It's super nice. The sun is shining. The icicles are melting off the cliff and falling and scaring us. We're back at Boogey Man. Eric's gonna make it happen today.
I keep thinking that I'm gonna have my last day of the season on Boogey Man by actually sending it, and I just keep getting foiled over and over and over. My first session on it, I actually put a lead attempt on it, and fell through the low crux and took like a really mini whipper. To keep me off the ledges, my partner gave me a really hard catch, and I whipped into the wall and just absolutely booted the wall. I messed my toe up, and then I had to come back to it. I tried to find a new beta to make it static. I decided my dyno beta was better, and but by the time I decided on that, I was burnt and wasn't able to lead it. Then came back again. I was having trouble with the upper crux, which I never had issues with, and had to find new beta, and then it was too cold, and now we're here again. And even though I've climbed it clean like maybe 10 times already, it's just like the project that never ends. So hopefully today it ends. So this is it. This is the lead of Boogey Man. We've been sitting on this footage for about a year, and we've been meaning to get back to this route to get shots of the holds and the gear. But watching it back, I think it stands alone without it. Also, I'm really not psyched to lead Transcon for the 35th time in order to get shots of that stuff. So this is it. To me, this is the most dangerous route on the workout wall. And it's not because any of the gear is bad. It's all absolutely textbook. It's because you're looking at ledge fall potential or gut-busting roof fall potential throughout the length of this climb. If you fell here, like I did on my first lead attempt, you're cutting it very close to that ledge. Place some bomber cams, and when you run out over the roof that I'm underneath, you're basically looking at the same fall onto the same ledge, except from 35 feet this time instead of 8 feet. And then when you place that gear and run out from there, you're looking at whipping into the lip of this roof, with no guarantee that your legs are going to be the first thing to hit the roof. You might just swing right underneath it, and your torso might take the full impact of that. So to me, this is a very intense lead, even though all the gear is great. It's all textbook. You just got to be on top of it for the length of the climb. This route was put up by Jeff Grunberg in 1983, and he's really a giant of Gunks route development. He doesn't have the most FAs, but he definitely has some of the best. He's put up Nectar Vector, this route, Clairvoyance. He even put up the original line on the ozone buttress, the Zone. And he put up one of the boldest leads in the Gunks as an on-site Skeletal Remains, which is an 11DX. That's maybe has a handful of repeats. I'd like to go check that route out one day. Just because I know if Jeff Grunberg did it, it's probably an amazing route. Basically if you fell before you got this gear in, you'd hit that same ledge. So just like any area, you get to know the route developers, who grades stuff soft, who grades stuff hard, who climbs all the chalks, who climbs all the classics. Anything with Jeff Grunberg's name on it is guaranteed to be an amazing line. So this, to me, is one of those lines. It's the second best line on the workout wall, I think, behind El Kabong. And even an argument could be made that this is better because it's a little bit less contrived than the upper crux of El Kabong. Here, if you fell here, you're looking at like whipping into the lip of the roof. I place a terrible RP here, and this is the only gear on the route that
might not hold the fall, or probably wouldn't hold the fall, because it's such a small placement. But it's definitely more of a mental piece for these last few moves, so you don't feel like you're 12 feet out from your last gear looking at hitting the roof. I start to scream here at the end about my hands. I basically got the climber version of the screaming barfies. It was just too cold. And once the blood came back to my hands, they were hurting. It hurt. So that's it. That's the lead.